Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette's Joan Vassos' revelation about almost quitting the show proves the franchise is taking a step in the right direction when it comes to mental health. But is it too little too late? The Golden Bachelorette star Joan Vassos revealed that she almost quit her season, but the show's psychiatrist helped her to realize that she should stay. And this is a good sign that the franchise is taking a step in the right direction after years of ignoring the importance of mental health. Joan, a 61-year-old private school administrator from Rockville, Maryland, was married to her husband John for 32 years before he passed away due to pancreatic cancer in 2021. Joan is the mother of 4 children and the grandmother of 3 grandchildren. During the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, viewers saw that Joan almost had to leave the show because her 92-year-old mother got sick. However, she eventually recovered. What they didn't know was that Joan almost quit the Golden Bachelorette another time because she was struggling with still being in love with John. Thankfully, with the help of the show's psychiatrist, Joan was able to continue, and she eventually got engaged to Chalk Chapel. The focus on Joan's mental health was a step in the right direction for the franchise. On the Two Jersey Jays podcast, shared via Instagram, Joan revealed that she almost quit the Golden Bachelorette in week 3 because she was still in love with her late husband John. Joan said, "I almost quit." However, she added that she didn't tell the producers about her intentions, but instead she turned to the show's psychiatrist. Joan explained, "And so I asked to speak to the psychiatrist. They came into my room, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I'm still in love with John. Like, how do you do this?" And they go, "Well, why do you think you have to not be in love with John?" And I go, "'Cause, how do you? These men, they expect me to fall in love with them. You know, one of them does." They said, "Well, you can still do that." Joan had been holding these feelings inside, but when she finally opened up to the Golden Bachelorette men about them, she felt so much better. She'd already discussed her conflicted feelings with Chalk on the first one-on-one date, and he could completely understand her because he'd lost his fiancée of 9 years, Kathy, to brain cancer in 2022. Joan discovered that the other men could relate to her feelings as well, which was an important moment for her. If Joan had quit the Golden Bachelorette and given up, then she wouldn't have found her happiness with Chalk. It's fantastic that she felt comfortable enough to admit how she was feeling and seek help for it. The Golden Bachelorette psychiatrist should be commended for creating a safe space for Joan to express her feelings freely, and for offering such good advice to her. Joan then shared the advice that the psychiatrist gave her. She said, "They said, picture it like this. Picture that John is a balloon in this hand, and this other person is a balloon in this hand. And you don't have to let go of this one to hold on to this one. There's room for both of them in your heart." Joan was able to use this advice to help herself understand that she could keep loving John, while also making room for someone else in her heart. It's wonderful to hear that, instead of convincing her that her concerns weren't valid or sweeping them under the rug, the show had a resource that could aid her in dealing with her mental health. Because the show is so isolating for the lead, it's comforting to know that Joan had someone who she could talk to. Through the years, it's been very difficult to watch some of the Bachelor franchise shows when the leads or contestants were clearly struggling, but the show didn't do anything to help them, and sometimes even took advantage of them by exploiting their mental health by airing their worst moments. There are so many examples of this throughout the seasons, but the past few years have been especially troubling. One of the most disturbing examples of how the producers didn't seem to care at all about the lead was during Jen Tran's Bachelorette final. After the show revealed that Jen had proposed to Devin Strader, and they'd gotten engaged, it dropped the bombshell that he'd already broken up with her. When host Jess Palmer asked Jen if she was ready to watch the proposal, with Devin sitting next to her on the couch, she sarcastically asked if she had a choice. It was very hard to watch Jen crying while watching the proposal, especially knowing that the producers could have chosen to put her mental health first and not have forced her to watch it. Other examples of the producers putting contestants through unnecessary drama that took a toll on their mental health happened during Bachelor in Paradise seasons 8 and 9. During season 8, the couples were split apart and forced to live in two different places, which led to so much angst. In season 9, the Bonfire of Truth and Truth Box required them to tell uncomfortable truths about each other that created a lot of conflict. In addition, the comedy roast took a toll on everyone's mental health as insults were hurled. It's no wonder that none of the couples from these two seasons stayed together after the show. After The Bachelor season 26, Clayton Achard spoke about how his mental health had suffered because he was portrayed as a villain who broadcasted that he was intimate in the fantasy suites with Rachel Recchia and Gabby Windey, and told all three of his final women, Rachel, Gabby, and Susie Evans, that he loved them. They even nicknamed the Rose Ceremony, in which all of this came to light, the Rose Ceremony from Hell. The show didn't seem to have any regard for the fact that Clayton was a real person, and his life became a living hell in the months after the show aired. The fact that Joan had such a positive experience with the Golden Bachelorette psychiatrist is a good sign for the franchise's future. After years of being criticized for its lack of focus on mental health, there's finally an example where the lead was struggling, and the show stepped in and truly helped. Of course, this should be expected, but mental health hasn't always been at the top of the producers' priorities. Rather, they'd sacrifice the mental health of their leads and their contestants in order to create a dramatic show. Hopefully, Joan's journey will be a step in the right direction for the Bachelor franchise. Although some might believe that it's too little too late, considering that other alums of the show have suffered due to the lack of attention on mental health, it's a positive change that will hopefully continue in seasons to come. There should be no more creating drama for the sake of promoting the most dramatic episode ever. Joan was able to complete her Golden Bachelorette season and find true love and get engaged to Chalk because of the advice of the show's psychiatrist. And that's a beautiful thing. Joan Vassos, a standout contestant on the Golden Bachelorette, recently dropped a bombshell that sent ripples through Bachelor Nation. She almost quit the show. Her revelation wasn't just another dramatic twist designed to captivate viewers. It was a candid confession about the mental and emotional toll that being part of a reality dating show can take, especially for someone navigating love later in life. In an era where mental health conversations are becoming increasingly mainstream, Joan's transparency marks a significant step forward for the franchise. But it also raises an important question. Is this progress too little too late? Joan's emotional revelation during a heartfelt sit-down with host Jess Palmer. Joan opened up about a moment of profound vulnerability. "There was a point where I just didn't think I could do it anymore," she admitted, her voice cracking with emotion. The cameras, the pressure, the constant comparisons. It all became overwhelming. "I was ready to pack my bags and go home." What stopped her? A supportive conversation with one of the show's mental health professionals. Joan's story isn't unique. Over the years, contestants across the Bachelor franchise have faced intense scrutiny, emotional distress, and, in some cases, severe mental health struggles. However, her decision to speak out about nearly walking away from the show shines a light on an issue the franchise has long been criticized for neglecting. The franchise's shifting approach to mental health historically. The Bachelor franchise has been more interested in crafting compelling narratives than in safeguarding the well-being of its participants. Emotional breakdowns have often been sensationalized, and conflicts exaggerated for dramatic effect. But Joan's story suggests that things may be changing. In recent seasons, producers have taken steps to prioritize contestants' mental health. On-set therapists are now available, and there's reportedly a greater emphasis on creating a supportive environment. Joan herself credited the show's mental health team for helping her navigate her lowest moments. "They really listened to me," she said, "and that made all the difference." This shift reflects broader societal changes. As conversations around mental health become more normalized, reality TV shows are being held to higher standards. Viewers are no longer content to watch contestants spiral without support. They want to see authentic stories of resilience and growth.